Sports talk done better.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Good morning and welcome in to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, John Luke Garofalo. John Luke Garofalo.
What up?
JL.
Good morning.
I know we got all sorts of stuff to talk about, but I got to start immediately with, you were at that game last night. You saw Justin Tucker kick the game-winning field goal. You have your Ravens shirt on, so clearly you're a Ravens fan. For anybody that doesn't know, how was it? How did it feel? How was the atmosphere?
The atmosphere was potent. The atmosphere was wild. Nelly played the halftime show in what might have been the cringiest concert I've ever been to. It was they brought out, it was so bad they brought out Ray Lewis in the middle of it to get everybody hyped up because nobody was reacting. And then he just walks back into the tunnel. But it was incredible. It was a great game. Justin Tucker is automatic, man. That guy goes out there, he doesn't even worry. He's not even worried.
No, whenever they got into field goal range after that big Lamar run, I was like, oh, cool. So Tucker's going to get to kick a game-winning field goal. It's what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. And then you look at that score. You got the Justin Tucker show last night. Know what I mean? If he's approaching the end of his career, like, I'm glad. I know maybe it wasn't the Lamar performance that you were wanting from a game. Like you didn't get the 3 touchdowns. You didn't get the crazy, but you got, what was it, 4 Justin Tucker field goals, including a game winner as the clock hit double zeros. Like, that's awesome. What a game. That's exciting that you got to be there for that. And the Ravens yet again continue doing what they do best. It doesn't matter if the opponent scores 15 points or 50 points. They are always just like,
right in line. It's always a close game.
Every time, and they pull out more than they lose, but that's such an exciting team to be a fan of.
Honestly, I'm sitting there the whole game just knowing that that's going to be the outcome, knowing that it's going to come down to the final last minutes.
Every single time. For some reason, you bringing up the Nelly halftime show reminded me, I forget what game it was. I think it was a Thanksgiving game, and the halftime performance was Andy Grammer out there singing like, nah, nah, honey, I'm good. I could have another, like that song. That's the legal limit. I'd say less than the copyrighted amount, so we're good. Yeah. But in the crowd, their crowd that they had around Andy Grammer was all children. So like on the field, they had like a bunch of like 6 to 10-year-olds. I don't know how old kids are, if we're being honest, but they were like young children just in the crowd, ages, like all separated. Like I think it was still COVID pandemic time. So they just had like a bunch of children separated around his stage dancing to hit. It was the most uncomfortable halftime show I've ever seen. And it was on TV. I can't imagine how weird it was in person.
Oh no.
Did they have people out on the field for the Nelly show?
He wasn't out on the field. He was like in it was like a little stage area in one of the corner of one of the end zones. And he was in there. And then they had a bunch of people, I don't know where they came from. They just showed up who were around the stage, but they weren't reacting. So they had to just be like in a section and someone was like, hey, you got to go over here. Nelly's having a concert. We need people who look hype. And then it was him and his hype man. And then I got nothing against Nelly. I was a big Nelly fan back in the day when I was a little youngin', but it was like one of those concerts where it wasn't you watching Nelly, it was you watching Nelly listen to other music. Like they play like Florida Georgia Line, and then it was just Nelly like listening to Florida Georgia Line with Nelly is what it turned into.
A night with Nelly is what it was. It wasn't it wasn't a Nelly performance. It was a night with Nelly.
A night with Nelly.
Dale, there was some other news, and while we're talking about that game, let's kick off with this one. Using next-gen stats ball tracking data, Justin Tucker's game-winning field goal crossed the upright with a Y-coordinate width field of 26.52. The exact middle of the field goal is 26.67. That is, if the uprights were half a yard wide, 1.5 feet, the kick would have still been good. They could have set up a 1.5 foot wide field goal if the center stayed the same, and Justin Tucker's kick still would have gone right down the middle. That's nuts.
That's wild. That is so wild. Look, that's Tucker right here.
From 46 yards away. That's insane. Like, I'm just thinking about from 46 yards away. That's how far it was, right?
Yeah. No, was that the last one? Because he had a 53 or 55 yarder earlier in the game.
Whatever. Any of those numbers, 1.5 yards. Like, it doesn't matter. You can make that number 30 yards. And I'm still sitting there thinking, like, a 1.5 foot window that you have to kick the ball through. Insane. Right. Insanity. We got Craig in the chat saying, you guys are the best and good morning. No, you're the best and good morning.
You are the best, sir.
And Tommy's saying, what a game, Jay.
What a game indeed. What a game indeed.
Great job. Great job last night, Joe. What a game.
Thanks. It was all me.
What a game. The NFC East is a collective 14-6 so far this season, and 3 of the losses are to itself. This comes to you from Benjamin Solak. NFC East, we thought it was a joke of a division, but they're 14-6, 14-3 against all other divisions so far. Joe, what do you make of this division? We've got the Cowboys sitting at 4-1 after beating the Rams. Eagles looking top tier as well. Commanders maybe a little bit better than we expected.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting powerhouse of a division that we've turned into over here in the East.
And you noticed I skipped. I shouldn't have skipped them. I just keep on disrespecting the Giants, also sitting at 4-1.
Also 4-1, yeah. Yeah, I was just about to bring them up because out of all these teams, Simon, if you're gonna put money on a single one, which one are you putting money on? Eagles?
To do what?
To win the division. What else would it be?
I'm just making sure to come in last. Like I could have done that as
eat
well.
34 hot dogs.
To eat 34 hot dogs. I got to go with the Cowboys. I'm imagining Jerry Jones gets in on this and he can guzzle some hot dogs. I'm sure of it.
I bet he just wets it and just slides it right on down. He doesn't even chew.
I was perfect. That's exactly how I was picturing it. No bun. I'm just picturing him like taking a pack of hot dogs from the fridge. He doesn't cook them. He rips the plastic open with his fingers, so it stretches a little bit. There's no knife, and then he just takes the hot dogs.
Juice is going everywhere,
one by one, and he doesn't swallow. He just like pushes it down. Know what I mean? Like there is no swallowing action.
It's just a force.
Just a force down the throat, and he does it one hot dog at a time. That's how Jerry Jones eat hot dogs.
Yeah, he swallows it whole. That's disgusting.
We've got JL in the chat saying, "Can I become a Ravens fan? I just can't."
JL's ma. That's my ma.
JL's ma. Yeah, come on.
You can become a Ravens fan, 100%.
JL's ma. I see. I was reading that as Jilsma for a while.
Jilsma, I know. She let me know.
What's up, Jilsma? Welcome in.
Jilsma.
Yeah, Commanders fans. As we're talking about the NFC East, the Commanders are 1-4. They're the one team sitting down there at the bottom. But
bunch of dinguses.
To answer your actual question. If I had to put money on one team, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to put my money on the Eagles. They look fantastic so far this year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm enjoying watching them, which I said this yesterday on the late show. It's like, it's odd, like liking the Eagles. Know what I mean? Not that I've disliked them. They're not a team that like I've hated, but they've never been one of those teams where I'm like, that's a very likable team. But it seems like with the players they have out there, like it's just a team that I'm rooting for. I don't know if it's like the underdog effect, like they're not expected. I think maybe it's Jalen Hurts, but this is a team that like I enjoy cheering for the Eagles this year, which I really haven't in the past.
Yeah, no, I've been hyped, especially since I was pumping them up all off season. Always feels good when those end up working out.
We talked about this on our morning show a little bit. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 502 touchdown passes in his career. Mercedes Lewis is the only former first-round pick to ever catch a touchdown pass from Rodgers. All of Rodgers' TD passes have gone to players drafted outside of round one. Yeah, they haven't done that dude any favors, but he's killed it anyways. But I think he's getting sick and tired of the way this offense is looking this year. We saw Randall Cobb with the 13 targets, and I think those were like 13 targets of pure frustration. Like
13 frustration targets.
It was like, I know Randall Cobb can do something good. I've won games with Randall Cobb before, and it was just like a point of emphasis to like get the ball to Randall Cobb.
If If anybody was to do that, it would be Aaron Rodgers. Not a doubt in my mind.
We talked about it yesterday on the Late Show, but did you see the quote from Aaron Rodgers? Something along the lines, but like he's going to consider retirement at the end of the season, depending on the development of the rookie wide receivers.
No.
Can you imagine being Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson, and he's out there saying like, well, depending on how they develop, I will or will not retire this year. I forget the exact wording, but like, what kind of confidence does that instill in your teammates?
None.
To come out and say something like that.
None.
It's funny. It's funny. If he does retire, those guys need to say for the rest of their lives, like as a point of fact, like I made Aaron Rodgers retire. Like I showed up, did my thing, and he said, I'm out of here. Got out of there.
Yeah. On me.
We had, unfortunately, quite a few injuries yesterday. Rashad Penny fractured his tibia. He's expected out for the season.
That poor dude.
I know. Every freaking year. I wish he could stay healthy. And this isn't like one of those injuries that gets re-aggravated. Know what I mean? You don't like aggravate your tibia unless there was a fracture sitting there that you made worse, right? Like this is just
you can't aggravate a pre-broken tibia.
Exactly. Like this is just sucks. Like this could happen to anybody. Rashad Penny was seeming like he was picking up some steam, but Kenneth Walker stepped in with Rashad Penny out, and it looks like he's going to be the starter for the rest of the season. So if you have Kenneth Walker, good signs for him. Hopefully Rashad Penny's able to heal up and get back out there next year. Pat Freiermuth
does.
I don't know. I bet he gets back out there on the NFL field. I don't know if we'll ever see him as a starting running back again. Like I just don't know if we'll see him get a starting role.
It was already just tough timing. They didn't renew his 5th-year option. And he was already, first-round draft pick, hadn't really produced up until last year, end of last year. So I just think it's a timing thing. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough.
Craig in here saying, depending on the development of Joey and Jay, JL may consider retirement from FYF after this season. Yeah, Joey and Jay, get your shit together. Or JL's out of here, and I'm following him. Pat Freiermuth suffered a concussion in this game. It was his 3rd in the last 12 months. And I've said this already. It's not what I'm calling for, but with 3 concussions in 12 months, like I hope he's at least considering or talking to doctors about his like medical future whenever it comes to his brain health, right? Because having that many concussions in a short time frame is scary. Like it can have lifelong consequences. So hopefully he's getting cleared and checked out and considering the option that maybe like I wouldn't be shocked to see him retire is what I guess what I'm saying. I'm not calling for it, but like that amount of concussions in such a short time frame is so dangerous for the human brain. I hope he's taking it seriously, and it sounds like the NFL is starting to take concussions a little more seriously as well.
True.
But another one, Chris Olave, a concussion as well. He went down, hit his head.
I saw that one live.
Yeah,
I saw that one live.
God, and the camera just like pointed right into his, like you were looking into his eyes, and you could just see it again. Like every week for the past like 3 weeks, it's just these terrifying, scary hits, and take the camera off them. Like, know what I mean? Stop like showing these people that are clearly brain injured on TV. It's not a good look over there. And Tommy's saying it seems like way more concussions this year. Are we just more aware?
I think it has a lot to do with the media narrative. I feel like I'm sure somebody can fact check that and determine how many, if we are in fact at a higher rate. But I think the whole Tua thing just put it way more in the spotlight than it has been in the past.
It feels like more, but you're probably right, JL. Like it does feel like more. I feel like we've had more visible ones, like more where you see it on the field and you know it. Know what I mean? Like the really
you don't typically
ones.
get like a fencing position like we got with Tua. Yeah,
no,
that was pretty jarring.
Yeah. Damian Harris had a hamstring injury. Ramondre Stevenson came in and absolutely ate. There's no word on how severe that hamstring injury is, but we'll keep you guys updated. If he's going to be out for extended time, it's Ramondre Stevenson season. Teddy Bridgewater, in awful luck for the Dolphins on the first snap of the game, went down with a head and elbow injury. He passed concussion protocol, but was ruled out for the rest of the game due to the new rules that were passed this weekend. Christian Watson had a hamstring injury, and he has a history with soft tissue injuries. And then Drake London tweaked his ankle, but did not leave the game. So Drake London was able to come back in there. We'll keep an eye on that, though. Baker Mayfield, after that loss to the 49ers, was seen wearing a walking boot. They fell to 1-4 with their 37-15 loss. And Baker Mayfield was wearing that boot on his left foot during the press conference, as noted by multiple reporters. He said in his press conference that he had a left ankle injury and would get an MRI on it to determine its severity and his availability.
Is this a pride injury? Does this pride hurt?
Because we saw him, like we saw the hit that did it. Know what I mean? Like when he got up and started limping and he came off the field for a little bit and they said, I bet he'll be back. And he came back out. I think this is an actual injury. That being said, I'm sure his pride is injured as well. This has been a rough start to the season. Baker has not looked good. I mean, this offense has been bad. Matt Rule's been bad, but Baker also has been very bad, like just independently.
Yeah.
Not looking good. Not getting in sync with those receivers. So we had a couple nice passes yesterday dropped and a couple really bad passes as well. Odell Beckham Jr. is targeting a return in mid-November. The Green Bay Packers and Buffalo Bills are among teams interested. Dear God, don't put him on that Bills team. They're already so good.
That would be wild.
You know what? I take it back.
Like he would do it.
Do it. Put the Bills on. I now want just a super team. I want a team that like goes through the playoffs and wins every game by 40. Like where it's just a true NFL super team.
Bills fans would be insufferable.
You know what? If I had to pick one fan base to get to be insufferable about that, it might be the Bills team. I don't know. Who would you pick besides the Ravens?
I feel like Cardinals fans are pretty neutral. I don't care about them. I'm trying to think of another one that I'm Chargers fans. They're fine.
Yeah, those 11 guys would just be going nuts.
all 13 of them.
Off season. They would be going crazy.
Seahawks fans are just weird, man. Like that's where I live right outside that stadium for a summer, and they're just weird. There's nothing, I don't know that I would pick them, but I would not pick them either. I'd pick them if I want chaos.
I feel like it like perfectly, like the Seahawks fans I've met, it perfectly
it lines up. Yeah.
Seasonal depression plus mega fan meets that's Seattle Seahawks fans. Like they have all the qualities of a mega fan, but also all the qualities of someone that's lived under a cloud for the last 7 months. And like they're together into one. So it's kind of like a muted, slightly cynical super fandom is what it comes down to. And
it's a good way to describe it, but they're in neon. They're like, woo, neon.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they'll wear whatever the hell you tell them to. Like violet or green. Okay. Yeah, I guess. We'll set on the inside, right on the outside.
Marshawn Lynch.
Is that what they just walk around saying?
Yep. Beast mode.
Beast mode. Just start walking into rooms screaming that.
Freaking Seattle fans.
Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett called out the low hit after the loss. He said, I felt like Shaq Lawson went after my knee. Yeah, I know you felt like that. I saw you push him afterwards. Kenny Pickett got a little feisty in there, but I don't mind it. Know what I mean? I don't mind a quarterback getting a little spicy, but just know when it's Kenny Pickett versus Shaq Lawson, Kenny Pickett have some like personal responsibility, because when you do that, that is not a Kenny Pickett versus Shaq Lawson fight. You are starting a fight for your entire offensive line. Every single player on there, because you will not be finishing that altercation. Shaq Lawson is a big man, and you have tiny hands. I'm not even sure.
Little baby hands.
You couldn't even get him around his wrist. It would just be like a little bit right there. I like seeing the fire from Kenny Pickett, though. Just learn to control it a little bit, maybe. Don't pick those fights.
And be better.
He had a decent enough game. Know what I mean? Like he threw for over 300 yards. He had only one interception. Like it was fine. It was better than I expected from Kenny Pickett in his debut against the
Buffalo Bulldozers.
The Buffalo Bills. And if you switch the first letters, it's the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
Can you even believe it?
Buffalo Bills Dozers.
The Bills Dozers?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns have acquired linebacker Deion Jones in a trade with the Atlanta Falcons. A source told ESPN on Sunday night. The teams agreed to swap late-round picks in the 2024 draft. Jones made the Pro Bowl in 2017, should help bolster Cleveland's linebacking core, which has struggled since losing Anthony Walker to a season-ending quad tear in Week 2. Yeah, they have struggled. Who's this guy?
Oh!
Ah!
Well, howdy. I can't hear you.
It takes a minute for his vocal cords to warm up is what happens over here.
Testing.
We hear you coming in loud and clear.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing?
Good morning.
What's up,
Doing
Coop?
fantastic.
We're talking some Deion James. How do you feel about him?
Browns.
Yeah, he just got traded. Or I said James, I meant Jones. He got traded from the Falcons to the Browns.
Yes,
they swapped late round picks over there. Yeah, well, that Browns defense needs to do something. This is a unit that was expected to be decent, and they've been absolutely terrible. So I guess they're making decent moves, doing something instead of just
Craig goes, IDP news? What show is this? Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Welcome in.
I remember that when we were talking with D.O. Ledbetter, our boy Jordan Loop, also an IDP guy, was interested in hearing what was going on with Deion Jones. Definitely some sort of